a real question here as to what the original one is. That'll dictate how they proceed. Is there a known weapon in there? Is it simply a traffic stop, or is this a stolen vehicle? All of those things we should find out here in the next couple of minutes, some of those answers. But right now we have no idea what this vehicle is wanted for or what they know about the suspects inside of this vehicle.
Look at him just going past 5 lanes of freeway and now going to the shoulder of the road. I don't know if he's approaching some exit coming up, Chris, but...
trying to get around that big rig, too. Oh, is this an exit here? Or is
it is an exit. It is an exit. He's getting off of the 105 freeway.
Oh,
that's going to be Bellflower Boulevard, a wild left turn at the red light there onto southbound Bellflower Boulevard. Another opportunity to get back on the freeway. Could make a right or a left, or could go straight through and continue southbound on Bellflower at these speeds. They could possibly consider that pit maneuver again until he pushes the pedal, which has been the pattern here. Every time that lead primary unit gets right behind him, he starts to really move much quicker, and you can see as he's maneuvering through these intersections, very little braking going on, so you can only hope that as he continues this behavior and this wild driving, that he doesn't encounter much cross traffic, because that's a recipe for disaster, the way he's speeding through these intersections.
Right, a heavy vehicle going 80 miles an hour on residential streets.
Bellflower at 86 miles per hour. Let's show you those spike strips, by the way. They're aggressively trying to get, look at the top of your screen. You're going to see a deputy right there. That was the first one, I think, right?
On the sidewalk, on the sidewalk. He's on the sidewalk now, back on Bellflower. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, he jumped off over the curb, onto the sidewalk, now into oncoming lanes, making a wild left. Look at this, barely braking for these wild turns now in a residential area on surface streets here. Potter Street and a very, very narrow block here. Potter Street coming up on Cabell Avenue. Here in Downey, you can see this is a residential neighborhood with a number of dead ends and cul-de-sacs. So it'll be interesting to see if he knows his way around this. More than likely, he may very well end up caught in one of those dead ends. But we'll see, because just in the last couple of minutes that we've been watching this suspect, they're really, the turns have been so last minute and so random. I just don't feel like he's got a real clear destination.
And the passenger looks like she's just on her cell phone. You know, this is a scary part. When I guess you could call your friends if they live in this area to keep the kids inside, because, you know, kids are outside after school, walking home.
That's right. And
we're hearing
sorry about that.
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Alan. Yeah, you were just about to say, I think we're getting word now to some of those questions. We can now say that this is a reported, unreported stolen vehicle. So it's a stolen vehicle that has not been reported by the owner yet. That is the report that's coming out from the LA County Sheriff's Department. So they are dealing with a grand theft auto suspect. Earlier, we had at least 2 or 3 units behind him, but it's notable how many units they have in position along the way here, enough so that we've seen at least 2 separate spike attempts, whether those units happen to be in the right place at the right time or they were setting up for that, because again, these turns have been so random. Very hard to set up for a spike strip when you don't know where the suspect is going and there hasn't been any real published by the driver, but nonetheless they were able to attempt those 2 spike strips. Both of them, I think, fell short, and now he's continuing through another busy intersection here at Woodruff and Alondra Boulevard.
Yeah, all this going on during rush hour traffic, pretty heavy traffic at that, and these various intersections. You see all the cars lined up. Boy, this could end badly if he continues on this route. And just the speeds alone, on Woodruff 86 miles an hour, Bellflower 86, Studebaker 95 miles an hour, Rosecrans 75 miles per hour. Very dangerous pursuit going on here. I wonder if they're thinking about a spike strip again. He's flying right now, 92.
Yeah, wow.
90 miles per hour and not even slowing down for these red lights. And even at the green lights, it's still just as dangerous. When you're going these speeds through red lights and stop signs, it's a recipe for disaster. Can't stress enough at these speeds and the lack of braking, the refusal to even slow down as easy. barely managed to keep control of the vehicle for some of these turns. They've been so wild, and there's a right turn. He slowed down a little bit for that one, but a lot of these turns have just been taken so fast, so easy to lose control, especially even a compact SUV like that is still top heavy and still easier to lose control. But in any event, a much more quiet street here, Artesia Boulevard, with a little bit less traffic. We'll see if he continues at these speeds, because that may be an opportunity. If there's if it eases up on traffic, they may find a possible opportunity to pit the vehicle. But here comes another busy intersection and some more moderate traffic up ahead here. Again, LA County Sheriff helicopter still following right above him at a relatively low altitude, and you can see weaving through the little bit of traffic that's in his way here, barely slowing down at all for these intersections.
Right. We showed you those spike strips that happened a couple of times. They were unsuccessful. And here...
On the sidewalk again.
This is, yeah, we were just going to say, running some video on the right-hand side, was that...
Look at this, another spike,
Did
He
you
went,
get him?
no.
Just overshot just a little bit.
Overshot the spike toss. You can now see 5 black and whites right behind him, and he had to pull that spike just fast enough so that none of those deputies ran over the spikes, and it appears that they were able to avert that. But it just looked like he tossed it a little bit too hard, and it just missed the spikes on the strip. And so now the pursuit continues. Got to give it to these deputies. Look at this. He's coming back for more. He's going back. Look at this. He's snaking right through those oncoming officers back towards the spike strip. Let's see if that officer has another opportunity to lay down that spike strip. He may not have another opportunity, but if he does, we'll catch it here in just a second. I think we may have already... Well, no, here it comes. Here comes another attempt, maybe? Nope. And it looks like they put the spikes away. We're not ready for that U-turn. And look at him, over the median. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He has no regard for property or life here. He is just desperate. Look at him. Look at this. Foot bailing in the middle of the intersection. Look at this. Right into a city bus, Long Beach Transit, as he crashes into a Long Beach Transit bus. Both suspects running in front of the bus into a shopping center, now with their hands up. Deputies in foot pursuit here. And now they've got their guns drawn, tasers drawn, a slew of deputies chasing these two into that shopping center. Here is suspect number 2. I believe that's the passenger being taken down there by LA County Sheriff's Lakewood deputies.
Oh my goodness. That was one of the crazier pursuits.
And the vehicle continued to roll and hit a number of vehicles, the bus, and then it rear-ended that car right there. So the person in that van is looking back saying, what is happening?
And the passenger was almost boxed in between the red car and the bus.
As dangerous as this pursuit was, though, this is not a bad ending, considering how incredibly fast that they were moving, and it looks like just a couple of kids in that vehicle.
Yeah, wow.
Scary ending, to say the least, and what could have been so much worse, as you mentioned, and such an odd spot to dump the vehicle. You wonder, thankfully they dumped it when they did, but you wonder why at that point in time, maybe they just realized that there was nowhere to go. They just thought they had a better shot on foot, but hard to outrun these deputies.
Okay, we're going to wipe off our sweaty palms, Chris, and thank goodness this came to an end. We appreciate good job out there. And wow, we're going to check in with Dallas Rains now and talk about our weather. As you can see, it's a beautiful sunny day, even for a pursuit.
And we're drying out in Southern California after that big rainstorm we had with Hillary. And tonight, early this morning, had a little marine layer down in Long Beach. And good afternoon to all of our friends and viewers there. It's hot out there in the valley, so look at that, 97 degrees. There's a huge temperature contrast across the LA basin this afternoon. Malibu's at 7.
Thanks, Adam. That was all Adam. 10-4, we're clear.